Hello and welcome back to Soft Heart Revelation YouTube channel. Obviously, if you've been watching this or following this channel for a little bit of time, I haven't posted in, I don't know if it's been a few months. I think it's been a few months since my last video. But I guess I'm back now. And I just want to first start off by saying that thank you for watching this video. If you clicked on this video, I hope that you are doing well, because I'm definitely doing better than I have been the past couple of weeks on this day. I guess first I just want to check in and just say that yes, I've been struggling with my spirituality. I've been struggling in my relationship with God, especially since backsliding. It's been kind of hard to find my footing, especially the footing that I had about 3 or 4 months ago. I was going strong. I was reading my Bible every morning. I would skip breakfast, and I was skipping breakfast so bad I'd come on here and get mad at y'all because y'all wasn't skipping breakfast. But it really helped my relationship with God, the fact that He gave me the grace and the strength to, at least if I didn't fast the whole day, He helped me to put aside that time just to spend with Him. And that definitely helped me to grow in my spiritual journey. But, since backsliding from that point, I've been feeling unworthy to talk about anything on my channel. I've been feeling unworthy to pour into other people. I've been feeling like I don't deserve to even help other people because I'm messed up. I'm jacked up. I felt unworthy to go back to church for a while. I had left my church and I just completely disconnected myself from other believers. I completely disconnected myself from my YouTube channel. I just felt shame, like a lot of shame from not staying consistent. And now that I'm saying this all out loud, I'm starting to think, I didn't have to feel like that. And I don't have to feel like that any longer, because I'm never going to be perfect. And I think that when we are baby Christians just starting out, we can put so much pressure on ourselves to get it right, like all the time. Failing to realize that there is nobody perfect but Jesus. In the Bible, there's nobody perfect but Jesus. Even Moses got reprimanded by God because when God told him to speak to the rock, he struck it out of anger. So even Moses, even though he received the 10 Commandments, even though he fasted for 80 days, he still wasn't perfect. And so I think that I definitely feel a weight lifted off my shoulder just talking about that right now, because we can really strive for complete perfection and holiness. Now, yes, we are supposed to be trying to be holy like God, but we got to be real about the fact that we're never going to be like Him, like Jesus was like Him as He walked this earth in the flesh like Him. So, yeah, I just been feeling unworthy, but I have not been needing to feel that way. Now, I do feel like I needed to be disciplined by God in that area of my life, in a season of my life where, and this was very recent, where I felt like God was punishing me and letting me know how miserable I would be if I abandoned Him, if I forgot about Him. And I get the point now more than I have ever gotten that point in my entire life, that abandoning God is the worst thing that you can ever do. It's literally the worst thing you could ever do. It don't get no worse than that. Whatever you think is your worst day, multiply that by 1,000, and that is what it feels like to know how good God is, and to be in His presence and intimacy with Him, and to love Him with your whole heart, and then to turn your back on Him like nothing happened. It's one of the worst feelings I've ever felt in my entire life, and I never want to feel that ever again. It's been a battle, a bloody battle, to get back to where I was spiritually. Anybody who has backslidden, truly backslidden, and that person has truly tasted the Lord and seen that He is good. Anybody in that sorry state will tell you how miserable it is. And not only how miserable it is, but how almost how impossible it feels to get back on track. Like, you can't just backslide and be like, oh, I'll go back when I feel like it. No, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. Don't play with God, because, and I'm talking to myself, I should not have played with Him like that, because I suffered the consequences. I literally reaped what I sowed. If reap what you sowed was a person, that person came knocking on my door and beat it down and arrested me for apostasy, because I thought that I was just doing a little bit of dibbling dabbling in the world. No, there's no such thing. When you set the bar so high after you pursue God for so long, for so hard, like I did for 3 months straight. I pursued Him for 3 months straight persistently. He was all I was thinking about, all I was worried about. I didn't think in the moment that I was changing. And that's how amazing God is. You can't see the changes that's happening to you when you in the secret place praying and fasting and reading your word. You feel like you're not changing. You feel like I'm still the same person. Why am I even doing this? Never think that. This is motivation for anybody watching this video who feel like I'm not getting closer to God like I want to. I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere. This is pointless. I'm bored. Like, if you stay with it, you're going to look up and you're going to be a completely different person. It don't even take weeks. It's just a few days with the Lord can completely, radically transform the way that you think, act, and feel. And so never underestimate the power of spending secret time with God in a secret place. Because the only way you really can see how blessed you are to be in a secret place with God is if you backslide and reap the repercussions. But I do not recommend that for anybody. Don't try to measure your growth by how far you have fallen, by throwing yourself off a cliff. Don't do that. But realize that, and this is encouragement, I promise you, if you even spend an hour every other day in the presence of God, you still better off than somebody who never spends time with God. And so don't underestimate the power of God in His holy word. Don't underestimate that. Also, I feel like I said a prayer that was very dangerous, that I have been reaping the benefits and pain. I won't say repercussions, because it's not necessarily repercussions, because I'm blessed because of this prayer. But, I prayed to God to help me to fall deeply and madly in love with Him, because I felt like I couldn't do it on my own. I felt like I was always halfway in, halfway out. I felt like I wasn't on fire for Him like I wanted to be. And so I resolved that, okay, I can just ask God. Easy. Just ask God to make you fall in love with Him like you never fell in love with Him before. When I asked this question, my whole life fell apart, to the point where it was like that season where I was pressing into Him and I was like, God, what's happening? I don't really know if this is working. Like, I was thinking like, okay, this is hard, this is arduous, this is painful, this is excruciating. Those 3 months, I didn't know what I had till it was gone. I didn't know what I had till it was gone. And I feel like God was answering my prayer by taking His presence away from me, by taking back the grace He gave me to pursue Him wholeheartedly. I didn't know that I was practicing the love of God in those months. I didn't know I was a living example of being madly in love with God. I didn't know that. I thought I was just doing what I was supposed to do. But now when I look back, I'm kind of back there now, but if I weren't getting back on track now and feeling like I'm getting back close to God, if I was still in that place of misery, I would give anything to get back. I would give my life to get back to where I was with God, in that intimate secret place, with the peace that surpasses all understanding. There's seriously nothing that can compare to having an intimacy, a robust, intimate relationship with God. Not one out of religion, not one because you think that that's the right thing to do. But when God shows you how valuable it is to have a relationship with him, and when you go through that season where it's ripped away from you, like I did, you can never go back to that immature place of thinking like, oh, this is boring. Then I used to think, oh, this is boring. I have to wait on myself to get primed to sit in the presence of God and wait for him to speak to me and wait for, me to get revelations. Now I don't care how long I have to wait, because he showed me that it's worth it, however long it takes. If it takes you an hour to get what you're looking for in the Bible, it's worth it, because it could be way worse. You could be in a situation where he takes away your desire to even read the Bible, and now you really messed up. And that's where I was at. He took away my desire to even read the Bible. He took away my desire to worship. He took away my desire to speak about him. That's why I wasn't on my channel anymore. I was busy doing other things until the consequences came down on me. And then I was able to see, okay, yeah, I messed up. I messed up really bad. But he answered my prayer in the most unexpected way. And I went through a season of intense crushing so that my love for him would be what I asked him for it to be. And now I wouldn't trade my relationship with God, no matter how hard it is at times, no matter how much spiritual discipline I have to go through. I would never trade my relationship with God for anything. And I'm truly blessed at the end of the day to have gone through all that pain, all that suffering. I was despondent. I'm talking about, I was the most depressed. If I thought that the depression I felt in high school was something, and I wanted to kill myself, I really wanted to physically die in the flesh so that my spirit could come back to life. I'll say that. I didn't want to die, but I wanted to live and see the Lord again. I wanted to taste the Lord again. And that would require me to subdue this flesh, which only he can give you the power to do that. So I just wanted to come back and just share, where my spiritual journey is. And I know this is going to help somebody. And I want to encourage anybody who feels, first of all, I want to encourage somebody who feels like they don't have the ability to discipline themselves, to get in the presence of God, to read their Bible, to pray, to fast, to seek the Lord. You have no idea what's on the other side of you making this temporary sacrifice, because the sacrifices you're making right now are temporary. You're not always going to be waiting on God. He don't let his children wait forever. It's really to teach you patience. So every single thing God puts us through is all for our benefit. So if you feel like you don't feel like reading the Bible, just press through it. Because once you start to hear the voice of God, once you start to receive those revelations, once you start to feel like you are stronger spiritually, and you're going to know when the grace of God has rested on you, because you're going to feel like you can just go and go and go and go. You never get tired. Of course, you're still a human, so you got to go to sleep at some point. But I'm saying that you're going to look back on who you used to be and be like, I remember I couldn't read the Bible for 5 minutes. Now I can read it for 35 to 45 minutes straight. You're going to realize God he's strengthening you. He's strengthening you to be able to pursue him. And ain't that the goal? It's spiritual growth is the goal. You're going to realize how much you're able to give grace to other people. Whereas in the past, you might have gotten more impatient with that person. Or you might have cussed that person out. Or you might have become ready to just cut the person off for whatever reason. Because you had not understood the love of God. It's meant to flow through us, through you, to other people, to those around you. So yeah, the first thing I want to say is just keep going. The stuff that's in this world is not worth missing out on God for. So what did Paul say? The current sufferings of this moment is not worthy to be compared with the glory that is to be revealed in us. The joy and the peace and the fulfillment you're going to get even on this earth is not worthy to be compared with the sufferings that you have to go through. Or maybe I said that wrong, vice versa. I don't know, the other flip that around, and that's what I mean. Is that what you think is so painful is nothing compared to what you are going to receive through you persisting in the Lord. He's that good. He's worth you killing your flesh. Kill the flesh. Make it die. Get up when you don't feel like getting up. Pray when you don't feel like praying. Read the Bible longer than you did last time. If you read it for 10 minutes last time, shoot for 20 minutes. If you did 20 minutes last time, now shoot for 30 minutes. Just like people in the gym, they put their body under extreme discipline because they have a goal in mind. They're like, okay, I don't like this feeling right now, but I know that a few months down the line, I'm going to be ripped. I'm going to be cut. Like, if they can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and we're children of God, we should be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel and fight through and put ourselves in a spiritual gym so that we can measure up. So that we can measure up on the day of judgment. Because at the end of the day, we can't work for our salvation. But faith without works is dead at the same time. So we got to balance it out. You can't not do anything and expect God to do something in your life. But you also shouldn't try to work for God's approval. It's a balance. So, what else do I want to say? Those things. Don't be afraid to say dangerous prayers. Don't be afraid to ask God to help you fall madly in love with Him, because He will do it. And yes, there's a price to pay. If you want to get closer to God, He's going to actually do what you say do. He's not going to snap His fingers and make you change. You got to go through things to change. You have to experience suffering. You have to experience heartache. And this is the thing about it. Why not experience pain, heartache, frustration for God to get closer to Him versus experiencing it in the world for no reason? Because we're always going through pain, frustration, heartache. But the only kind that matters is the kind that gets you closer to God. And so I'll just encourage those who are going through seasons of disappointment and anger, whatever you may be going through, go through it with Jesus Christ. Because then and only then will your pain be used by God for something greater. What else did I want to add? I'm worthy. Oh, and don't beat yourself up if you mess up, if you fall off. Just come back. Because luckily we serve a God that when people reject us forever, He doesn't. When we reject ourselves, He doesn't. I will balance this with saying that it is good to be broken and contrite about your sin. Don't just think, okay, I can backslide, everything's going to be all right. I can just run back up on God like ain't nothing happened. No, that's where I went wrong. There is consequences. When you leave God, when you abandon Him, when you backslide, when you trample His pearls, there is severe and extreme consequences. But I will say that if you make an honest mistake, if you make a real, genuine mistake, if you backslide truly by mistake, even if you do it and you think you can do what I did and just run back, He will still have mercy on you. But I'm saying it to say there are levels to mistakes and sin, and there are levels to consequences. So I would just advise you to proceed with caution. If you're gonna pursue God, pursue Him all the way. Don't have no back thoughts like, oh, I'm just gonna go to the world and then I'm come back. No, please don't do that, because you're setting yourself up for some major discipline that you might not be ready for. But I will say this: say powerful prayers at the end of this all. Don't be scared to say prayers that might put you under the fire, because He's gonna put you under the fire anyway. You still have to learn how to love God and only Him before you die. You still got to learn how to make Jesus the King, and you got to put Him on the throne of your heart at the end of the day. So, yes, I took a risk by saying certain prayers that made God move in ways that pruned me and pulled things out of me that had to come out. So just know you're going to be put through the refiner's fire anyway. You might as well help God help you by praying prayers that is going to transform you, whether that's through painful means, whether that's through hurtful means or whatever. We got to go through the fire either now, or you go through the fire in another way that we don't want to talk about because that's horrible. But I'd rather go through the fire and get all the dross and impurities burned out of me while I'm on earth than to die and all that stuff still in me. So this video is 20 minutes long, so I'm going to end it right here. But it's just all heart revelation again. I thank everybody who clicked on this video for listening to me. And I hope that this video helps somebody, because we all here to pour into each other. At the end of the day, everything I go through is to help somebody else. Obviously, God wants to save me, but he is using me to help save other people. And he also wants to use you as well. So if you have been through anything, if you have suffered something that's traumatic, whether it be, you know, something that happened to you, through you, in you, for you, whatever, just, you know, tell other people. Read 1 Timothy. We are supposed to teach other people. We're supposed to admonish and exhort other people. And we're supposed to do it with boldness, with willingness, with love, and with kindness, with balance. But we're supposed to pour into other people whatever God is pouring into us. So I thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.